Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing after a big win in the ATL. The New York Knicks come up clutch late to pull this one out. 116, 114, a tight back and forth game. Come from behind classic down in the ATL. We're going to talk about it. Shout out the chat and these New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. It didn't look good late for a minute there as the Hawks took a 7-point lead, but the New York Knicks rallied and came back from some heroics from Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, and of course the big man Mitchell Robinson dominating all game long. It was fitting that he was a big part of this win, pulling in a huge offensive rebound to help the New York Knicks get a lead. Second chance point after second chance point. Fam, salute. One of the best wins for the New York Knicks for a while. The best win of the season, I would say, because, man, losing this one would have been quite catastrophic, you know, in terms of just the momentum that this can give us now, going back above 500, pulling level with the ATL, as well as getting a stranglehold on this season series. Now, the New York Knicks have beaten the Atlanta Hawks twice. I've got to check the records. I don't know if we played them 4 times or 3 times, but we have a stranglehold on the season series right now, which has got to feel good. And it feel good to get us in this mode because we had to really rally. And big stones, Brunson hit huge threes, came alive in the fourth, had a really poor third quarter. Julius Randle was consistent for most of the game and was methodical, taking advantage of his mismatch. The Knicks got the Hawks in the bonus early in the fourth, which really helped us. Emmanuel Quickley showed huge stones as well to hit huge free throws late. And the Knicks almost threw it away, couldn't get the ball in bounds with 4 seconds remaining. 5-second count. The ball went back to ATL, but they couldn't generate a shot because Jalen Brunson smartly fouled DeJounte Murray up 3, fouled him before he could rise up. And it was a heady play, man. Jalen Brunson, you know, man, hitting huge 3 after huge 3. One of his biggest plays was a huge assist to Julius Randle. Julius Randle was passing the ball well all night out of the double. Credit to Atlanta. They were making great reads defensively in terms of taking the ball out of Brunson's hands in the fourth early. And Emmanuel Quickley came alive, made some plays coming off the curl. And like I said, Randle was passing out. Mitch was holding down the paint all night long. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike, salute. What a win. Yep, 100%. You got to just snatch this one and run because, we talk about the rest of this road trip coming up. And, it feels good to get this big one out the way, fam. And I salute Kerry. You know, it feels good to win in the ATL, man. Say what you want about this rivalry between the two teams. There's a lot happening when you face ATL twice to start the year, both in ATL. Now, and the other 2 or 1 game, whatever it is going to be in Madison Square Garden. And we have a stranglehold on the season series, right? But we'll talk about Grimes' injury late, which we're waiting to hear some news about. I think it was either a jarred hand, either a jarred finger, or maybe some kind of dislocation. We'll wait and see. But with about 5-6 minutes remaining, he went out after contesting a shot at the rim. And went out with the hand injury. But I think he'll be good. I think it doesn't look too serious, but we'll wait and see. But also, like the theme of tonight's big win was, you know, rising above, being short-handed, fam, without R.J. Barrett. You know, we've got to talk about his situation with the migraines as well, missing the second consecutive game. His day-to-day, the Knicks confirmed that he's feeling better. And it doesn't look too serious with the migraine. I think he's just trying to shake it off. But the Knicks shook off the rust late. It was a back and forth third quarter where the New York Knicks gave away a lead. The Hawks, their role players, stepped up. throughout the game. Sadiq Bey had an absolute huge game. But fortunately, the New York Knicks were able to dominate with the big men. Hartenstein, second chance point, and Mitchell Robinson, for me, gets the game ball. We could give out 3-4 game balls, but if we're just giving out one, to me it goes to Mitchell Robinson, fam. But yeah, Julius Randle made an amazing read late, and passing the ball out as well. Big win, Daryl. Big task. I absolutely saw Randle. In terms of RJ, I think it's just day to day, right? We'll wait and see. But the good thing is the Knicks have a little bit of a rest right now, and pulling this one out, we are now 6-5 on the season, and Atlanta are 6-5 also. Atlanta coming in at 6-4 on the season. We send them to 6-5, and we move up to 6-5. We'll give out our grades. We'll shout out the chat. We'll look around the NBA to see what's happening. And yeah, we'll continue to shout out our heroes after this clutch win. It was much needed, and we had to really dig deep, which is the most pleasing thing. Randle's big stuff running down the lane there. We really are starting to see Julius Randle look like the Julius Randle from the last 2 years, fam, in terms of the health. The ankle, he's got that pop. He's got that bounce, and he's not just jacking threes. That's the biggest difference from the Julius I'm seeing now. He's trying to post up, and he's kicking the ball out when the double comes as well. Now, if we had lost this game, fam, it would have been from turnovers. The New York Knicks were just too sloppy. Dante DiVincenzo, we're going to talk about him. He's a little shaky with the ball. Quentin Grimes, when he was in, he was shaky with the ball as well. Emmanuel Quickley wasn't playing very well until he came alive late when he started to handle the rock. And also Jalen Brunson in moments was a little shaky, undecisive, I would say. But like Kerry says, 100% let's go, Mitch. Like, we don't have 3 or 4 of our wins without Mitchell Robinson this year. And it's fitting on a night where RJ Barrett's not in. There's been a lot of talk from Knick Nation that Barrett and Mitch has been our 2 best New York Knicks. Brunson's certainly come alive late, making a case. Randle's coming alive late. But if we're looking at our 11 games now, fam, and we're looking at our record, at which we are 6-5, it's been Mitchell Robinson, been the most consistent New York Knick, with RJ Barrett missing the last 2. Just shout out to Money Making Mitch, A++. We'll give out grades later in a minute, but we don't even need to wait. Mitchell Robinson gets that A+ for me immediately. Huge play after huge play. And really, they don't have the size to deal with him. Okongwu, Capella, those guys tried, but they just couldn't keep Mitch off the glass. Mitch had about, basically almost a double-double at the end of the half, and he didn't end up finishing with a double-double because he's not getting the points, but he's doing everything else that you could ask for your starting center. Mitchell Robinson, when we brick in it, he's helping us get the shot again and keeping us alive tonight. And again, we don't make that run if he doesn't come up with that critical, scrappy offensive board where he just falls on the ball and does whatever he can to keep it alive. So we are alive, ladies and gentlemen, above 500 again, and we'll look at the schedule as the games are coming quite winnable now. For the rest of this week, we're on a 1-game day off tomorrow. Then we're in Washington for the 2nd game of the in-season tournament, and then the Charlotte Hornets for our 4th back-to-back of the season in our first 13 games. I tweeted the NBA how ridiculous that is, and we got to take that in consideration when we're grading these Knicks, in the start. 4 back-to-backs in 13 games. It's quite ridiculous. But the positive is now, fam, is that the New York Knicks have the least amount of back-to-backs for the rest of the season in the entire NBA. So we've done the hard lifting, we've done the heavy work, and we have the least amount of back-to-backs from here on out from the rest of the season. But it's been tough, man. It's been super tough. Maybe RJ Barrett plays the other night if it's not a back-to-back. Maybe he plays tonight. who knows? But we got the win, fam. Nick Yak, salute. Geraldine, I see you. Just Nick, salute. Daryl, what's good? Nick Yak says, how many huge rebounds and keeping the possession alive? He is great. Yeah, I really hope this is the year he gets more credibility from outside of the Knicks nation in terms of defensive awards, and things like that. In terms of what he's been doing, he's been elite. Not just good, not great, elite. Keeping things alive. Yes, sir. Just Nick, salute. Daryl says, big win. Hope RJ is good. And yeah, a season-defining win. It is early, but I was thinking exactly the same thing, man. Because you lose this one, and it's a huge swing. You give Atlanta a team that you're going to be jocking with, and you give them a leg up. But tonight, we basically pulled the chair from underneath them late, and we got the huge win, fam. So yeah, we will look at the road ahead later in the show. We'll look around the NBA, but now we've got to dealt with them before. Maybe not for the last 5-10 years, but I used to get these migraines quite a bit. But speaking of the migraines, the New York Knicks gave Atlanta big migraines early. The pleasing thing is we started off really well. Brunson was moving the ball, and Julius Randle was our scorer early in the game, right? Trae Young had a really quiet first half, but the New York Knicks were able to arrest control of this game in the first half on the road, which was really important, to get off to a good start. So salute Julius Randle. If we're giving out 2 game balls, he could have get another one. But I got to give one to Mitch. But yeah, Randle's big 29 points, top scored for the game. Bogdanovic did his best impression, FIBA World Cup impression, to try to kill us, but it wasn't enough. I thought even Mitch was switching out on the perimeter, blocking, contesting shots. Another huge play Mitchell Robinson had was a block on DeJounte Murray, who was trying to fly to the rim. He's got feline quickness, in the words of Clyde. And Mitchell Robinson was just a brick wall for us tonight, coming up not just with the offensive rebound, but with blocks as well. A whopping 15 rebounds, ties his season high. And that makes, I think, 4 games that Mitchell Robinson's had 15 rebounds now. I think this is his 4th. So, absolutely colossal effort from the big man, right? Put some respect on his name with Mitchell Robinson. And I think he did deserve a few more touches offensively. Had a little turnover at the worst time later in the game when the ball slipped through his hands, but fortunately there was enough time on the clock. I think that was with 3 or 4 minutes to go, and the New York Knicks had enough time to get more stops and get buckets as well. But DeJounte Murray, Okongwu was the next leading rebounder for the Hawks with only 6 boards. So that tells the story, man. Julius Randle with an 8 assist ball, salute. Trae Young was a little more deferring with 17 assists as well, so that's kind of crazy. I like Josh Hart's game, his best game starting tonight. He hit some timely shots, moved the ball as well. Credit to the Hawks defense tonight, ladies and gents. They were really moving the ball, and it was making it difficult for us late, to make reads. That's what Tom Thibodeau's defense is, man. There's no set plays. It's just whoever's got the ball in their hand, read the situation and react as well. That's why we do look a little shaky, guys. We do turn the ball over because, it's up to the players to make that read live. And the Hawks are trying to shake it up, throwing bodies at Brunson, throwing bodies at Randle quickly. And we worked through it. We came out on top. So big time win. Now going above 500 on the road. So this is a character building win without RJ Barrett, and a win that's going to give this team a lot of confidence moving forward. Now with RJ, we're as good as any team, I think, on any night. We're learning to win without one key player, a huge player as well. So that's not easy, man. On Mitch, Kerry says, is Mitch a top 10 center in the league? right now. Definitely, I think so. I think the way he's playing, yeah, not everything shows up on the box score too with Mitch. It's all about his impact on the game, um, the ability to grow at the areas that he was weaker at, which is staying out of foul trouble. That's no longer an issue. You notice, Mitch ain't even leaving his feet at times. When they're trying to pump fake him, and he's not leaving the feet, and he's also being disciplined, but he's also making good reads, knowing when to contest the shot, knowing when to leave the paint, and all of that. And he's not only is he wearing other bigs down, he's drawing fouls on people. Now, another key play Mitch had tonight was when he drew an off-ball foul when it was a Kongwu, I think, tunneled him as well. That doesn't show up on the stats too. That got us another possession as well. So yeah, some of these things don't even show up on the box score, and he's getting us extra possessions so many times, and we don't win without him. Now, later in the show, man, we've got a lot of topics to talk about. Zach LaVine on the block. Draymond Green suspended for 5 games. I want to get your thoughts on all of that. So don't go nowhere. The streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. And we're about to give out grades tonight. But we've got to look at the stats. 54 rebounds to 36. The New York Knicks took care of business in the paint. Mitchell Robinson, A+. Assists, good ball movement. 29 assists is excellent. Trae Young had 17 of the Hawks' 28 assists, like I said. 9 steals, fairly decent. The New York Knicks were defending well tonight for the most part. There wasn't really many blown assignments that I could really think about. It was just our own turnovers, which we're about to talk about. Only 2 blocks. We know the Knicks are already last in the league in blocks. We talked about it last couple shows when I did some stats. That's because the Knicks aren't contesting many shots. We're waiting for the defensive rebound. Sorry. Also, we're trying to clean the glass. So that's the reason we're not blocking as many shots. But turnovers, man, what can we say? That's been the Achilles heel for the Knicks season. And if something that we can clean up, we're just going to start to look even better. I really want to keep these turnovers below 10 every game. And that's everyone I'm looking at. Brunson, I'm looking at Quickley, looking at Randle, certainly looking at Brunson, DiVincenzo, Quickley and Hart. And Grimes. Quentin Grimes is a little shaky with the ball as well. So if we keep those turnovers to, 13, 12, 11, we probably win this game more comfortably instead of having to come from behind by 7, heroics. With that said, points in the paint, Knicks 150 to 42. Second chance points, man, 21 to 4. So the New York Knicks basically quadrupled. The Knicks quadrupled the second chance points tonight. So that is really what got us this win. And, fast break points. The Knicks were running and gunning fast-paced tempo tonight early. That's what helped us get that win. Fam. Salute Dripmore, buzzer beater. Yep, feeling this win tonight. You guys let us know. Good to come from behind for once, although it's not ideal. And, you want to lead wire to wire. But this was a team desperate. You guys got to understand the Hawks lost to us earlier, on their home floor. And they don't want to lose again. So think about it, guys. We took their best punch. And we're the last one standing tonight. In the ATL. It was a heavyweight bout with guys throwing haymakers. And we landed the final blow. Which is great now. And like I said, we have a stranglehold on the season series. Now, with that said, man, it's time to give out more grades with Josh Hart getting the start tonight. What did you guys think of his game? Give me your grade. In terms of Hart, he's a kind of guy who helps keep possessions alive as well, yes. He's a guy who rebounds amazing. 8 rebounds from the guard spot, 5 assists tonight. Played physical D, 4 fouls, 9 points. Hit a really, really, really critical mid-range pull-up desperation shot late in the shot clock. What can I say, man? Yeah, he helped us get the lead as well. After that timeout, the Knicks went down by 7. Tibbs rallied the troops, and we made that furious 8-0 run to get the lead back. Then it was just back and forth after that. And Josh Hart helped us, hit a huge bucket as well. 5 3-point attempts, went 1 of 5. You don't want him shooting too many threes, but a couple of them were wide open, so he let it fly. But 4 of 10, 40%. Solid game, solid game tonight from Josh Hart. Right, he gets a B for me tonight. Josh Hart gets a solid B, giving us what he has. He's not RJ Barrett offensively, but yeah, without Barrett tonight, he stepped up. Played less minutes, which is good, 33 tonight, and I'm glad that Thibodeau didn't wear him into the ground like last time with 43 minutes as well. So we always say, man, Josh Hart in the right doses is a winning formula. 30 minutes if Barrett's out, and we needed more shot making, and I think Tibbs made the calls, keeping Quickley and DiVincenzo out there a little longer, and Grimes before he went down. Man, yeah, real king, we buzzin'. Salute to the chat. Salute replay squad. Knicks Nation back above 500 now. 6 and 5 on the season, which is great. And we'll look at the standings later in the show to see where we're at after today's action around the league. But Julius Randle, man, is the next man up. I said it earlier. He could get a game ball tonight if we're giving out a few. I got to give one to Mitch. But Juju looking like the Juju of old. He went 12 of 24, 50% from the field, and 3 of 5 from deep. The 3-point shot is something that separates, the Randle of 5 years ago and the current Randle, the All-Star, All-NBA Randle. And tonight he hit some really big threes. 3 of 5 from deep. Hit both free throws. Gave us 10 boards. 8 assists. 2 assists shy of a triple-double. Juju Randle gets an A++ as well for his 29 points. And in the absence of Barrett, he stepped up. That's all you can ask for. He was making better decisions with the ball, with the double. And sometimes they were bringing in the soft double. Sometimes it was the hard double. Sometimes they were just leaving him 1v1. And, he was making good reads. Hitting, his usual tough shots. A couple of frustrating contested shots, but he hit that huge one in the corner as well. That was keeping us in it late. The most pleasing thing for me moving forward now is the 3-point shot for Julius Randle. I was never worried about him, controlling the low block, getting to the rim and doing what he does. But the difference between, like I said, All-NBA, All-Star Randle was a guy who was shooting, like 38%, 40% from 3. And we've been waiting to see the 3-point shot return. And he's looking more comfortable right now. And 60% from the line, A++. Made a huge play where he was diving to the rim. But I know how, you guys know how I've been screaming on people to feed the big man. Juju here, one of his biggest 8 assists. The lob to Mitch right there, backdoor over DeAndre Hunter, man, the smaller dude. That's what we need to generate good offense too. See, look, the Hawks are lost there. If they want to switch, they want to double, there's always a guy open. And usually that guy open is Mitchell Damn Robinson, middle name, inserted. And Mitch is, when he's around the rim, we've got to feed him the rock right there as well. So, yeah, that was a huge play from Randle. So, that was great. Another nice assist there to Grimes too. So, 8 assists Randle. I'll take that all day, every day. He deserved a triple-double tonight. And yeah, that's the reason we were controlling the game in the first half. So A plus plus, night for Juju. We get a day's rest, and we head over to Washington, and I think we can win the next two. I predicted us to win these three coming up in the last show, and things are looking pretty good right now. Hopefully Barrett gets back. Hopefully we can continue to cook, fam. What do you guys think? A plus for Randle? Give us your thoughts, man. Buzzer says Josh gets a B as well. Yep, good minds think alike, fam. Could have done a little more offensively to get that B plus, but B solid, did his thing. Rebounds, and hit a couple of big shots as well. But yeah, he's not the ideal replacement for RJ Barrett, because obviously we suffered offensively, but thankfully Randle started so hot that our offense, was clicking early in the game. Mitchell Robinson, can give a few more words on him, considering it was such a huge performance. It seems like every game might be, his career best game, and I'm losing track now because this season he's just been an absolute monster, setting records. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff come out in the next day or so, but in terms of this year, it's been his fourth game of 15 rebounds. So to start the year with 11 games in, he's got to be up there with the Knicks greats in terms of rebounding effort, man. But 6 of them offensive. He's leading the league, offensive boards. I just want us to feed him more so he can be that double-double mountain. He's getting the 15 boards, but he's 6 points, and I think we can relieve our offense a little more if we are feeding him as he runs to the rim, and he dives to the cup as well. The free throws, we know he's got to improve, but he didn't even get to the line today. He didn't even get fouled. So, but moving ahead, Mitchell Robinson's been our most important player from after, through 11 games. RJ's missed the last 2. Mitch is still rolling right now, yet to miss a game. Salute, Will. Great win. The flowers go around tonight. Yep, salute to everyone. And a few Knicks, you might definitely need some drink tonight, because, yeah, if we lose this one, it's a really, really bad loss. We win, we feel great, and we pulled it out, man. We came from behind, and we battled, we fought. So I tip my cap to these guys, man, for making huge plays late. I'm talking huge plays, really, back and forth, and Atlanta really, really needed this one bad. So they go home with their heads, with their heads held down, and we go riding high back to Washington. Now, Kerry in the chat, yeah, Quentin Grimes, man, some concern over an injury late in the game. Quentin Grimes contested a shot, got injured with his hand, and he was out for the remainder of the game. He's going to be assessed. I'm sure they're going to do an X-ray. Now, I'm waiting for more thoughts, opinions, word on it. I think what it looked like was a kind of a jarred finger, maybe a sprained wrist, a sprained hand, something of that nature. He didn't really look like he was thriving in pain, in terms of like he looked like he took a shot and he looked uncomfortable, but yeah, it didn't look like it was anything maybe to do with ligament wise, structurally might have been a dislocation, something like that. Let's hope he's good. We're going to need RJ back next game if Grimes is down. Not making any bold predictions, but if Grimes was to miss a game, I'm going to assume Emmanuel Quickley should come into the starting unit. Maybe DiVincenzo, but he's just been a little too inconsistent for me. What do you guys think as well with that? If Grimes was to miss a game, if Barrett's not back, who do you put in? You got to put in Quickley, I think, for more offense, more floor spacing. And he's just going to have to play 38 minutes. And Deuce McBride can come in and replace him off the bench. I think we need to keep DiVincenzo on the bench while he's still trying to find his role, trying to find his a rhythm and flow. But let's hope both are back next game as well. We had Gus Johnson on the call. Yes, sir. Good old times to hear Gus back. He went with the bam. Mike Breen gave us the bang. It was a huge Randle shot. He went with the bam. That was big time as well. And Wally on the call as well. So, yeah, A++ for me with Randle. Buzz has given Randle an A for his performance. Mitch gets the A++. Now, Quentin Grimes is starting to hit his shot. 3 of 7 from deep. 4 of 10 from the field. Rebounding a little light for me. 1 rebound. 3 turnovers. That's what I want to see Quentin clean up. Still a little shaky. Late in games. Had the ball stolen and stripped running up the floor. He tried to pass a dribble around his back, and that was a critical turnover in a huge run that the Hawks were rallying back from. And so, yeah, with Quentin, the pleasing thing is that the catch and shoot, what he's known for is coming good now, but little concerned about, the rest of his game this season, and hoping that he's going to, bust out of, have a breakout year. But so far, RJ Barrett has been that guy. Quentin Grimes just needs to settle in and play his role with the starting unit and shoot a high clip, pass the ball, make quick decisions, defend. He defended really well. Trae Young was quiet in the first half, and Quentin Grimes is that on-ball point of attack defender that we need in the starting unit. So he's doing a great job with that. Right, I'll give Quentin Grimes a B- for tonight. I think he did solid enough, shot efficient from deep. 11 points in his 28 minutes, defended really well. He gets the B- for me. But hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's right, fam. We're looking at the Knicks PR account right now, and there's been no extra word other than that he's was out for the remainder of the game, which was 1 hour ago. We're waiting on Tibbs, the press conference, but I'm sure he's just going to say the same thing, man. He's going to say that it's day to day, and he's going to have an X-ray. But Quentin Grimes, right? The last couple of games in a row, he's shot well from deep. He shot really well last game in the unfortunate loss. Last game in Boston, hit 3 threes in a row in the third quarter, helped us stay in the game. Now today, he played a fine game. I think defended really well. Like I said, Trae Young wasn't the scorer tonight. He was the distributor, and that's a credit to the Knicks defense, the game plan. Fam. Will says Grimes missing a game is fine. I just hope it's not broken yet or lingering ligament thing. 100%. Also praying RJ's knee stops giving him migraines. All of the above, fam. All of the above. And Geraldine, Randle A+, Brunson A, Josh B+, Mitch A, Grimes B-, the same as me. I heart B as well. Appreciate you. Tony Yayo says free Mark Jackson. Yeah, we'll talk about him, man. Unfortunate circumstances. I can only give my thoughts on the situation. I can't say for sure without all the facts being released, but would have loved to see Mark, come back and call some games. Sounds like some past issues, some past poor relations with some of the assistant coaches of the Knicks. Assistant coach, formerly, played a part in that. But let's hope something happens in the future, man. Quickly, now before we talk about Quickly, we're going to talk about Jalen Brunson. Really, Jalen Brunson, after a slow start this year offensively, he's really come alive. Taking the charges, I think tonight he took 4 or he took 3. One of them he was a bit unlucky, but 8 of 19, 6 of 10 from 3 is huge, man. 6 threes on volume, 100% from the line, no rebounds, but 8 assists as well, 3 turnovers. I'll take that. 8 assists from 3 turnovers, just 2 fouls, 24 big ones. Well, huge 3-pointers late, back breaking threes. Basically, you could see Atlanta kind of the air was taken out of the building, man, from the three fans that they have. you could hear the air, and you could hear Knicks fans in the building shout out to everyone taking control of ATL out there. We see you represent, and it was fun. This game was fun late with Jalen Brunson showing out, showing that he's the real stud point guard, not Trae Young. When push comes to shove, you've got one point guard making clutch threes, and the other point guard that was known for his clutch threes is giving up the rock. Credit to Trae Young. He's an excellent passer, but that was the difference. Jalen Brunson stepped up late to lead his team to the win. When Trae Young, for the second consecutive night, came up small. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. 8 assists, 24 points. Jalen Brunson is the better player, and I think he should get more respect around the league. Right? I think this is the year people start to wise up, but honestly, people still are rating Trae Young above Jalen Brunson. I'm not saying it's a huge margin. It's close, but for me, Jalen Brunson does a little more. On both sides of the ball. Can take charges, steps up big offensively, can assist and score in different ways. Trae Young is a great assister, passing point guard, can shoot the deep ball, rise up, but is limited. Has no post up move, can't get too creative offensively. Man, he's got the floater, but I think Brunson had his number tonight, man. Quiet money salute to the chat, salute fam. Yep, we're going to be patient with Grimes, Daryl. I think with that situation, it's early in the year and it's only his third year, and I think rightfully so. Knicks fans had high expectations for Grimes that this could be the year, but remember last year was the same with RJ the year before. I think he's got to find his spot. His sweet spot with the team, which is in terms of he's not getting a lot of attempts. He's not getting high usage. He's just got to be efficient when he gets the ball. And I mean not turning it over. If he's only going to score 9 points, I don't want any more than one turnover. Tonight he had 3. So he's scoring okay, but if he can reduce these turnovers, make quick decisions, and be efficient from 3, I'll take that Quentin Grimes right now, in this moment, in his third year coming in. But back to Brunson, man. He gets another A+ as well. Wasn't the perfect game. In fact, was quite an awful third quarter. Could even just give him an A. But the fact that he came alive late, and we don't win without him as well, he deserves an A+, really. Like I said, things did look grim. Down 7 with like 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. It looked like we had given up all the lead, and it looks like we were just going to be second best tonight. But Tibbs called a timeout, and we came out and we just went on an 8-0 run with Emmanuel Quickley, who we're about to talk about, but Brunson also with back-to-back threes and controlling the offense. Getting back to Jalen Brunson, man, he's got ice-cold veins. And with that situation, that's what you want to see in a point guard late. It's not always about accolades, awards, all of that. Jalen Brunson is a winner. And when you need him, he could stink it up for 3 quarters, but give him the ball with 5 minutes to go. And he hasn't really failed us yet. Big games in the playoffs, big games when we needed him in the regular season. And tonight, he did it again. With that, another A+. Jalen Brunson, the scoring's come back, and the 3-point shooting is wet. Man, he was letting the crowd know in the ATL when the building went quiet, and it was beautiful to see us take control of Atlanta. Now 2 wins on the season against them, and control of the season series. Luke, salute. Yeah, Grimes is guarding the best offensive weapon on the other teams as well. Yeah, we got to pay attention to that too. Yeah, we can't ignore the fact that you're on point. And the chat spitting knowledge tonight. Salute replay squad. Salute chat. and Knicks Nation feeling good after this win. Now, Grimes is a guy who is in my fantasy team, and I do need his production, but he does pick up steals, which is, he's a clever on-ball defender, and he's clever on-ball as well. He's usually good at picking up a couple steals. Tonight he had one steal. He knows where to be. Gets in the passing lane. He's able to read the move. I think a step ahead. I think that's the quality of a natural defender. He's always a step faster than his opponent in sealing off driving and penetration. So I tip my cap for Quentin Grimes, but hopefully he's all good. We will continue to refresh Twitter, X, and see what's up. But I don't think we're going to get any news tonight exactly until that scan is done. I think they'll do a scan to come back hopefully negative, that it's just probably a sprain. I think. Even if it is a dislocation or something like that, he shouldn't miss too long. If it's ligament, then it's worst case scenario. But let's not even put that out there, man. But with that now, DiVincenzo. Now he had a really good first half. I know I was making some notes and I was like, this is a quietly good DiVincenzo game. He really was efficient in the first half, giving us some scoring. He had the nice finger roll. He was attacking the closeout. Went 3 of 8. Missed 2 threes. Got 4 boards, 3 assists, which was good. 2 steals, which is great. But 4 turnovers. Man, he's not a great dribbler. He really isn't a great ball handler at this point, from what I've seen. He's not great at finishing at the rim either. But what he is great at, he's good at pulling up mid-range. He's good at spotting up. And he's good defensively. 2 steals is great. We needed them. 1 foul. Another kind of a heady player. He's not really gonna lose you the game. But we're waiting to see a little more consistency from DiVincenzo. But so far he is helping the bench unit, especially in the absence of RJ. I think no doubt the best is yet to come. Right, this can't be DiVincenzo from what we've seen this year. He's finding his feet still, and I think he'll start to get more comfortable in this spot. But I really think tonight he was valuable. But the turnovers did hurt us. Again, 16 turnovers. 4 of them from Dante. 4 of them were from Hart. 4 of them were from Dante. 2 were from Hart, and 2 were from Quick, and 3 were from Grimes. 3 from Brunson as well. Julius Randle only had 1 turnover, which is another reason he got an A+, too. So, DiVincenzo, I'll give him a C+ for tonight. We needed some production, but he wasn't great, but he was okay. He was solid. We need to see more moving ahead, I think, especially if we're going to beat good teams, great teams, and if RJ is going to be out in and out. We do need him to step up more, as well as Emmanuel Quickley. Now, Emmanuel Quickley, man, another guy who just seems to, like Brunson, he could have a couple of down minutes, a couple of down quarters, and Twitter is going crazy. And then all of a sudden, when you need him, Emmanuel Quickley comes up huge late with 6 of 11. Started handling the ball more because they were blitzing JB. And quickly showed confidence. He showed why he's a player that you can trust late in games. If there is a situation that other team wants Quickley on their team as a starter, there's a situation that the Knicks want to move forward with him, it's because he's a guy who you can trust late in games. You can give him the ball. He'll create something. He'll get fouled. He'll pull up deep like he did, hit a huge 3 from the logo almost. He's got no conscience. Those are the kind of players you can frustrate you, but you need them to win big games. You don't want someone hesitating. That's the worst. No matter how bad Quickley's playing, he's not gonna shrink. Later in the game when it's time to score, he'll get to it. And he was aggressive. He was coming off the curl. but Quickley can move the ball too. 4 assists, just 2 turnovers, 20 points. Big time game from Emmanuel Quickley. I'll give him a B plus for tonight's game. B plus for Quick. Was efficient from the field, from deep, as well as 5 of 6 from the line. Helped seal the game. You know, we don't seal this game off without Quick and his efficient 3-point shooting. You know, on a team where we're not laced with great foul shooters. Quickly's that dude who he might be the number one dude. If your life is on the line and you had to pick one New York Knicks player to hit you a couple of free throws, you know, he'll at least be 1, 2, or 3 in most Knicks opinions in terms of free throw shooting and trust, and who you can trust to seal the game off as well. Now Quickly went 5 of 6 late, helped seal it as well. One of them did bobble out, but that was enough still to help us pull it out, man. 4 assists. The thing is with Quickley is sometimes he just does need that urgency to kick into gear. You know, when the game's early and he's kind of cruising, you could see him kind of like get stuck in mud. You know, he starts to mess around a bit, you know, too much. But when it's just don't think, there's a couple minutes left and make a play, Quickley makes that play, and he does something. You know, he makes something happen out of nothing. You know, so really big time performance. You know, stepping up with 28 minutes, 20 points, and we needed that on the road with RJ out as well. And just like Brunson, man, he wasn't going well for the most part for him through the first kind of 2.5, 3 quarters, but yeah, he kicked in late, which is huge, man. So Quickley's B plus, man. And Isaiah Hartenstein was huge too tonight. Offensive rebounds was 5 of 9, 100% from the line, 1 of 1, 4 rebounds, but just 2 fouls, 1 steal, 11 points from our backup center. 11 points in 17 minutes. Doesn't pop off the box score, and you're not going to say, oh, that won us the game, but there's not many players in the league that can kind of come in and just play their role, put up double-digit points, you know, get you putbacks, roll hard, screen, all of that, but be efficient as well as a backup center. So I like Isaiah Hartenstein's fit with us. Again, if you got a guy like Beaston, like Mitch, it's hard to kind of stick out with Mitch doing what Mitch is doing. I think iHeart needs some love as well. He's not as good as Mitch, but he's doing some of the similar things, you know, which is rolling hard, keeping the ball alive, finishing some plays at the rim. All of his buckets come at the rim normally. He's not shooting, he's not pulling up, he's not shooting those threes. Basically everything's a float or a putback as well. Would love to utilize his playmaking a little more late in games. You know, that can offset what the defense is trying to do. You know, they're trying to blitz Brunson, they're trying to double Randle really quick. It would be good to get Isaiah Hartenstein the ball a little bit early, make some plays late, but Mitchell Robinson's out there for his offensive rebounding as well. So yeah, I'll give Hartenstein a B minus for his performance tonight, and we keep it moving. Obviously, we've got to give an honourable mention to Deuce McBride and Thibodeau, because Tibbs went with the 9-man rotation tonight finally. But you're probably wondering, you know, Deuce McBride 43 seconds. Well, he picked up 2 fouls, and I don't think this box score is recorded it, or maybe I'm wrong. I think he picked up 2 fouls, 1 or 2 fouls early in the game. It didn't look pretty. He was getting beat. But yeah, he did not come back into the game after that. So Deuce McBride got his chance, but he didn't take it tonight. So he gets an incomplete. Basically didn't play much. And we keep it moving right now. So yeah, that's the grade. Those are the grades for tonight's big win. we move ahead. We look ahead to Washington. We'll look around the league, and I will shout you out, guys. How are you feeling now? 6-5 on the season. So many games on the road. So many back-to-backs, injuries, slow start from Brunson and Randle, and I think we're looking good. I'm not worried at all. If there's a worry rating, a worry concern meter, it's at 15 or it's at 10 or 15. Injuries are the only things I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the players we have and executing. I think we're bound for a top 5 seed. Exactly what I expected. Tonight with no RJ, and the Hawks had a full strength team. So, coming in, they were 6-5 already. So they were 6-4 coming in. They were the better team on the standings. We came in short-handed, and we made it clear, no doubt about it, that the New York Knicks are the better team now. Beating them twice in their home building without RJ Barrett. The New York Knicks are the better team, simply put. And we're about to look at the standings, fam. Nick Yak says Hartenstein brings toughness to the team, very physical, throwing players around. Yep. Yeah, kind of that mini enforcer too. And we'll talk about Draymond Green and the discussion happening around the league about, was he right to do that, as an enforcer? 5-game suspension does look a little, some people think it's rough, some people think it's fair. But, your players, you got to bring that toughness as well when you need. Isaiah brings that, man. So I think the luxury we have, if Mitch was to ever miss time, I think Isaiah is that guy that can really step up as a starting center, as well. We've seen it, last year, and we didn't really miss a beat. So that was a nice bucket from Quick. The big ragu. This is the floater that I was talking about over the big man. So yeah, this is the kind of thing I want Grimes and DiVincenzo to just make their bread and butter, which is basically attack the closeout, and that's what they're there to do. They're a good 3-point shooter. So the scouting report says, like Bogdanovic right there, he closes out hard. He closes because DiVincenzo's a shooter, and then what does that do? That opens up a driving lane. So these guys have just got to master either the pull up, or attack the closeout and kick it to the corner, or finish like he did. That it's simple. Keep it simple, stupid, man. 101. And fortunately, Okongwu's not a huge big man. He wasn't able to block that one. If that was Clint Capella, I think that might have been a block. But yeah, man, these are the underrated things that he can bring. And I think, he's going to get better as this season goes. So here we have heart to heart. There we see Isaiah Hart keep him off the glass. Josh Hart runs the break. Hart with the slam and jam. So that was pretty. Our bench unit, people talking about our bench. That's the reason why, these guys know what to do. They know their roles, man. And Jalen Johnson had a good game, but Hart held it down. Juju had a couple of big and ones. That was one of them. And a couple of big and ones in the third, and I think in the fourth as well. So big time performance from Randle. Basically, it's not out of line to say he's back. I think the last couple games have shown that Julius Randle is back. The ankle looks good. Quick decisions. Almost triple dub tonight. Now this one we have early. Jalen Brunson shakes him off and pulls up and deep, man. I wish I had his 3-point stroke, man. He's shooting the ball so well. Luke gives the bench a A+. A+ bench and continuity. Yep. I think teams really know what they're up against, going up against the New York Knicks now. We are, there has been some real loyal media people around the league that's from last year have hold the Knicks in high regard. They know what we're capable of. And once it starts clicking this year, I think most people are going to be, correct with that. Late game execution is something we got to be better at, and I think tonight we almost again made it more difficult, throwing the game away. 5 seconds left. I think we've got to practice a couple of at least out of bounds plays. Just get a couple of plays in the playbook just to get that ball in bound, because that's critical. Also, with free throw shooting late in games, I could see us losing some games at the line. We've already lost some games with foul shooting. Like I said, out of timeout plays, getting the ball in bounds. Fortunately, we have a couple guys that can make good plays on the fly. I'm talking about, ricochet the ball off the player's leg. Josh Hart can do that. DiVincenzo makes some heady reads as well. Mitch, Grimes. Fortunately, these guys can help bail us out, but it's not always going to be. We're not always going to be lucky. With that said, now what I mean by once you're inbounding the ball and you're at the 4.5 second, and the coach is not going to call a timeout, you need to call a timeout or throw the ball off the player's foot, and get the ball back. There's different things you can do, but man, fortunately, we pulled it out. Phew. Nick Yax's Hawks bench played well, 55 points, and our bench gave the lead away. Yet, look, tonight wasn't the best bench game either. I don't think it was. I think it was a little shaky at times. Obviously, RJ Barrett playing with the bench unit was helping a lot this year, and we're going to need him. We're going to need him back, man, big time. So, man, Washington, I feel really good about that. We got a day's rest. We can chill. Hopefully get Barrett back. We can get home cooking when we head out to Washington for the fourth back-to-back of the season. Washington, Charlotte. Now, I predicted us to win these three this week, and I'm going to go through with it right now. I think hopefully Tibbs plays an extended rotation against either Washington or Charlotte. Doesn't matter. Even if Barrett's not back, we need to dig deeper. Evan Fournier looks right. He was on the bench tonight with a hoodie. Deuce McBride got in. Let's extend the rotation a bit, because these teams they're bad teams, but they're going to come at us still. They're going to force the issue. Miles Bridges, I think, is going to return soon with Charlotte. I won't be surprised if he returns when we play them, as normal happens, man. But Washington, they're in a world of trouble right now, as we're about to look at the standings and go around the league, fam. As the New York Knicks are now 6-5, and the streets are buzzing. We're smashing that like button, chopping it up with the chat, and a salute replay squad. Now, it was a huge night of action. We had the Magic beat the Bulls narrowly, 96-94. So the Bulls are now 4-8 on the season, and things are headed towards trades, like we know, man. Zach LaVine at the top of the list, man. Salute Michael, salute chat. Give us your thoughts on Zach LaVine. I tweeted out my opinion, and I think Zach LaVine isn't what we need. A couple people gave me their opinions. A couple people didn't like it. Didn't like what I said. But I just said Zach LaVine is not someone I'm really looking to bring in. That's just my opinion. I think the Knicks are cool with what we have right now, and the next move needs to be a bigger move. We pulled out of a Paul George thing. We pulled out of a Drew Holiday, a James Harden. Why should we go further in for a Zach LaVine? He's not any different for me, for a Drew Holiday, for a Harden, or for a Paul George. We need something else. We need a two-way player. We need more length. We need a player that's durable. I think I've got concerns over Zach LaVine's durability. I've got concerns over, to get the best out of Zach LaVine, he needs a lot of the ball. And how are you going to work that with RJ Barrett's growth now? How are you going to work that with Randle? How are you going to work that with Brunson? Right? Dollars don't make sense. 4 guys that need the ball. is going to make things more complicated. And look no further than the Clippers right now. They're stumbling and bumbling. 0-5 with James Harden. Since then, guys that need the rock. Now, I appreciate Zach LaVine's talent. I'm not saying he ain't got talent, and I'm not saying he wouldn't help a little, but I think whatever the trade would be, they would require a good young player. They would require draft picks. Like, who are you going to give up? You certainly can't even entertain giving up RJ Barrett right now. That would be foolish to give up an RJ Barrett for a player like Zach LaVine who can't elevate his club. He's shown that he cannot elevate the Bulls right now. So that's my stance, and I think the Knicks will be the same. I don't think they're going to be too keen on a Zach LaVine right now. And then, like Michael says, we got the future possibility of Donovan Spider Mitchell, 100%, who's a player who also needs the ball and is not a great defender, but he is a player who we might be able to acquire more simply through the free agency. So that's going to be big with that. It's also how you acquire the player as well. So I don't feel comfortable giving up multiple picks and a good young player, whether it's Quickley or RJ, to get the Zach LaVine deal done. That's what it's going to require. But rest assured, the Heat, rest assured, the Sixers, rest assured, another team around the league is going to give up more. So you can't get cheap. You can't think we're going to get Zach LaVine for Evan Fournier, Evan Fournier, Deuce McBride in draft picks. You're not going to be able to get him without giving up Quick or RJ, or more than that. So we don't even know how many picks. It might require more. So before we look at the rest of the wins and losses tonight, the standings, the New York Knicks now move up to 7. We are tied with the Brooklyn Nets with 6th, so we're essentially tied for 6th. The Bucks won tonight, so they are 7-4 in 5th. The Pacers are 7-4 in 4th, and the Heat are 3rd and 7-4. So we are 1 game away from 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. Such as how close the start of the year is, And I think we're in the right path. We're headed in the right direction. Now let's win the next 2. We'll go 8-5, and I think we might find ourselves, in the 4th seed, the 5th or 4th seed, if we win these next 2. So that's going to be big time. Boston take over the number 1 spot tonight, 9-2. Philly are 8-3 in 2nd, and like I said, the Heat 7-4, Pacers and the Bucks 7-4. The Brooklyn Nets and the Knicks tied for 6 as well. And we are, most importantly, first and foremost, ladies and gents, we overtake the Hawks tonight with the big win. That's 2 wins against the Hawks, and we have that stranglehold on the season series, fam. So Shirley says the Knicks have to put some hard defense on Poole or he'll kill them with the 3-point shots, with the 3-pointers. Yeah, I think, it's important, like you said, we can't take teams lightly. Teams could get hot, and Poole did it in preseason, but I think we've learned from that, and I think now guys are starting to feel good in terms of Brunson and Randle, efficiently, effectively, offensively. The start of the year looks like it was just, they were just rusty. I think it really was no concern about injury. It was no concern about them losing any talent. It was simply the start of the year was just rust, I think. Brunson looks healthy now. Looks like he's moving and shooting as well as we know he can. And same with Randle. And in fact, Randle has looked better this year at moving the ball. 100% that Julius Randle has looked better this year. And so, with that said, we're going to need these players to continue to step up in big moments. But we have the depth. Talking about the Grimes coming along with DiVincenzo, with Quickley, Hart, we're really going to start to see the strength of this team. I think we're in 3rd gear, if I'm Let's say we're in five. I think if this team has 5 gears, I think we're in the third gear right now. So I know we have 2 more gears to go. We're going to get Barrett back, and we got to get consistent. We're going to pull off the 3-4 wins in a row. Keep doing that, and I think we'll find ourselves, we'll get that 5 game above 500, and then we'll start to really turn on the Jets. We'll turn on the Jets for this year. Yeah, CAA says Spider over Levine, fam. That's another huge dynamic that you just spelled out, because, as everybody knows, Spider is CAA to the bone gristle. Zach Levine is the anti-CAA. He's Clutch Sports right now. Or he was Clutch, I think. I think he's still with Clutch. Yep. But yeah, man, Michael, 100% agree with you, fam. With that said, we need to utilize the extended bench. Yep. I don't care if it's Washington or whatever, man. Get Fournier out there. Get Deuce loose. And I think, we can really make noise. Really rely on our depth to beat these teams, fam. As we've got some extended highlights of Jalen Brunson's big game in his bag. The Knicks account put up. But yeah, big shot maker late. Talk about a guy who I trust because he can read the defense. A guy who they did everything to try to stop. They did everything, man. They blitzed. They trapped. And look at that, double. He just waited for Trae Young to get lost. What did Trae Young do there, man? He retreat. He didn't know what to do, man. And he put Hunter there on skates right now. Yeah, another CAA guy, PG-13, he is the guy I wanted to start the year. If those trade talks had continued, I would have been cool. Paul George is that two-way player that can defend, can score late, would take huge pressure off of Randle and Brunson. And Barrett, or whatever it would have done early in this season. If that deal got done, I wouldn't have been mad. Obviously now things look a little different with RJ Barrett's start to the year. But yeah, in the future, if Paul George was to become available, I think the Knicks might consider it again. But the salary was a concern. But I think that kind of prototype is exactly what this team needs. 6'8", 6'9" wing, who can play backup 4 when Randle goes to the bench. Better two-way player than anything like Karl Anthony Towns, Zach Levine. Better two-way player than Donovan Mitchell even. But I think that boat might have sailed. And then, yeah, you could move RJ to the shooting guard, 100%. Yep. Will says, yeah, you can't be impressed with what Levine has accomplished winning-wise. Yeah, I can't put everything on Levine in terms of the Chicago situation, but he is the best player. And with that said, they haven't even sniffed the playoffs so last year. And I think my concerns over his pay, his durability, and what does he? You got to ask, what does he do great? He's a good scorer. He can fill it up, but so can RJ Barrett now. And what if you got 2 6'6" wings, 6'5", 6'6" wings at the 2 and the 3 spot? That's not addressing any issue that this team has. You're just bringing in more undersized wing who's not a good defender. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. The Knicks might be able to get him cheap. If he becomes a Knick, I'll support him, but it's not my number one preference. It's not my go-to move right now. And I think with Barrett showing that he can be the 1, 2, 3 option on any night with Randle and with Brunson, I'd rather us keep all our assets. Talking about all those draft picks and talking about Fournier and Quickley's contracts if we need to make another big move, fam. But yeah, man, we are tied for 6th in the standings. 2 very winnable games. People say maybe must win, should win. But I think we'll go 8-5 once we win these 2, and we're inching higher up. which is great. Now today we had these results come through. The Magic on the come up, 6-5. So we are still jockeying with them. The Phoenix Suns gave the T-Wolves their loss, so 8-2. The T-Wolves, they'll go 8-3, I think. And the Phoenix Suns get a much-needed win. And Boston, battle of the top seeds, they defeated the Sixers 117-107 to go top seed 9-2. And Philly 8-3. So I think, yeah, firepower for firepower, Boston has more, so no surprises. Now the Bucks pulled off a huge win. Damian Lillard exploded for me in my fantasy team. They beat the Raptors, which was great. Get the Raptors falling down, so we get more of a gap between us and the Knicks, them and the Knicks. The Mavericks continue their good start, 9-3, 130-117. They beat the Wizards, easy light work. The Kings are beating the Lakers now, up 13 at the half, and the Cavaliers are up 7, up 8 over the Blazers at half. So the Cavs had a bad loss the other night. They're beating the Blazers right now. So the Cavs will go 5-6 if they win tonight. We're not worried. We're 6-5. We're entrenched in the 6th, tied for 6th as well. So what else have we missed? We've talked about the situation with Levine. Now with Draymond Green, man, with Draymond, I think that was a crazy situation. It does look like he had a little extra incentive to come at Rudy Gobert early in the game. Rudy did look like he was trying to break up Klay Thompson and the teammate Jaden McDaniels, but he was touching Klay Thompson. So Draymond Green, needed no excuse to come flying in. Man, what can you say? It was a crazy choke. Dragged him out. I think the issue the league has maybe is the fact that he held that choke for a minute, and he was pulling him back for quite a bit. Didn't look like he was trying to really hurt him. Wasn't trying to, cause damage, but it was careless. I think his past reputation doesn't hurt him, doesn't help. But I do think Draymond Green should have got probably a 3 to 5 game suspension. I think the league come down and gave him a 5-game suspension. I think if he didn't have his previous history, he gets away with a 1-game suspension, But here is a guy who's stepped on people, he's punched teammates, he's kicked dudes in the nuts. He's active, he's running his mouth, all of that. I think when push comes to shove, those things don't help you, And so I think, he got basically what was coming. So I think 5-game suspension, and unfortunately the Knicks don't play the Warriors in that period. But that's just another case of a player losing his cool. I think the Knicks are, meanwhile, we're keeping our cool, which is I'm happy about. He got 5 games, fam. Draymond Green out for 5. Yep. Now Spider Mitchell won't re-sign with Cleveland, CAA. Yep, definitely he won't. And I think after this year in the summer coming up is when the noise is going to really come. And I think that's when the Knicks might look at making that move, depending on how well we do this year in the playoffs, Obi Toppin went off with Philly. Definitely, man. Shout out to Obi. Shout out to Indy. I hate Indy, but they're doing well. They've got a great young stud in Tyrese. Good depth, good young players, good center, veteran coach. I think Obi's really going to shine. I think, like we said, the play style, it fits Indy's perfectly. He can leak out, he can get lobs, he can get out in the break, and he can shoot. He can get more shots up. So it's been a little up and down for Obi, but he had a huge 29, I think 26, 29 point game yesterday, and he had the streets buzzing with that, man. So, but look, we have what we have right now. I'm happy with what we got. Obi wanted to get traded, we didn't really give him up, and we unfortunately didn't trade him soon enough, and that's the reason we only got 2 second rounders. But Obi was stuck behind Randle, and it was a pick that didn't work out. It was a wasted pick, but we had to trade him. He wanted to get traded because he wanted this opportunity that he wasn't going to get with the Knicks. So it was a pick that didn't work out. They didn't trade Randle earlier, and they didn't trade Obi soon enough. So it was a mixed of both things. With that said, man, let's get ready to wrap this thing up as the Knicks pull off the huge win in the ATL. The street's been buzzing all night. Salute to Knicks Nation. We deserve this big win. And the guys pulled it out. Came out on top. Right? We have Atlanta's measure. 116, 114. 2 big wins on the road as well. I really think we would have beaten Boston if we had RJ. Now, these little health things starting to creep in. Let's knock on wood. Let's hope these things don't linger. Because right as we're getting Brunson and Randle correct, Barrett and Grimes go down. Not what we need. We need everyone. And I think we can really turn on the Jets, and get rolling. I'm talking beating everyone. That's not Boston or Denver. We can beat anyone when we're healthy, right? So let's just get everyone back. Let's keep things rolling for the season. Like I said, we have the least back-to-backs now for the rest of the season after these 4 first back-to-backs in the first 13. We've weathered the storm. We've faced adversity. And now the schedule gets kinder on us, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever you're sipping, whatever you got going on the rest of the week, let's get it back on, I think it's Friday night. Is it? Friday night Knicks, yep. At Washington. Let's get ready for the NBA Cup. We've got to get our first win, right, on this cup. And we'll get ready to roll out the red carpet before we get back home, fam. So salute to Knicks Nation. Let's get on the next one. Peace.